This is your girl, that's IkwerreGirl Attribute, all the way from London, UK. You're only IkwerreGirl living in London. You can argue with yourself. I want to show you a video of a man who made so much money and a big deal out of relationships, and he's a love guru and a relationship coach and all that stuff. But the point is, I know that so many things have gone wrong with what we expect from him. And obviously, he's just been playing. But the truth is, don't be going back to patch up on the relationship you left because you're thinking, oh, Derrick Jaxn was a fraud, so I'm just going to go back and patch up that relationship. He did actually say lots of things that made sense. However, he wasn't living according to the words he spoke. So hold on to the words, forget about the person. But watch these videos. Let me know what you think in the comments. And as usual, this is your girl, IkwerreGirl Attribute, all the way from London, UK. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. And don't forget to stay in touch.
And you know, for years, I've been coming down on the hammer with people, you know, play no games, take no prisoners when it comes to certain things. And let me tell you something, for everybody listening out there, man, you can believe in something so fervently that it develops a sense of pride. And pride comes before the fall. And whenever you have pride and you're in a space that God has allowed you to be, he's called you to be, but you're not doing it the right way, God will humble you. YouTube is now on here too.
Hi, YouTube. How y'all doing?
God will humble you. So a lot of people were asking, like, you know, last year, why no videos? You're going weeks, you're going months without posting and anything like that. 2020, for some people, it was a pandemic, but for me, it was my lowest year because it was like a reckoning with getting so far into this path that God really has called me to be, but not doing it in God's way. And I almost lost, I really did lose my family. I lost my wife, I lost my children. And it was really what I needed though. Because I mean, I believe in this, I believe in that, but it's just like, okay, D, well, if that's not translating into action in that regard, you need to, one, prioritize that. And two, you need to change your tone whenever you're talking. Because you're a product of grace to even be this far in what you're doing for years or whatever, of doing it kind of according to your own standard. You're a product of grace. So you don't have room. This is how I got checked. Okay, when it came to my relationship with God, she was already gone. She was already done. She wiped her hands with me, man. And I can't control that. I can't tell her she's obligated. But for me and God, it was, Derrick, you have to get in alignment. My purpose is bigger than the two of y'all. My purpose, I gave you a purpose and I gave you gifts. So with that, here we are. But a lot of people I think the timing is just off. So many people are sharing probably the hurt that you felt at one point.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a lot of hurt that I had felt. I mean, we're talking about, we've known each other since we were 19. And all the years of doing it wrong, breaking up, getting back together, and all these things that were never healed from. So we talk about getting into a marriage, never healed from these things, and not having boundaries in place. So a combination of all these things, of course, leads to hurt. But with that, we have to understand as a people that these things lead to bitter roots. They lead to hurt. They spill over into other aspects and areas of our lives. And before we know it, we're drowning. We're never happy. We're never satisfied. So for him, that looked a certain way. For me, it looked a certain way. But with that, there is hurt. So was I hurt? Absolutely. There was a time that I was hurt. There was a time where I was fed up. I mean, everything that you could think of, I did. I yelled at him. I cussed at him. I called him out of his name. I left these things, and none of that was helpful. None of that was helpful, and it was hurtful. It caused more hurt, more pain, and more damage.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
And I don't want to cut you off. But I think in that time, even though I can appreciate you taking accountability for that and saying it wasn't helpful, I think it was justified to feel what you felt and express it in whatever way it came to you.
Definitely. I mean, you're talking about other women being with you. Right. Excuse my language, guys.
Right.
You're talking about that. You're talking about things that I have seen, pictures, videos that I had seen well before anything was ever leaked to the public. I have seen things, and yes, I acted on that anger. So this is not something that I just escaped from or didn't feel any type of way. Where I'm at now is only by the grace of God for delivering me from the hurt and the pain that came along with this behavior. And none of it is justifiable. There's no reason why any of this should have ever happened, not even in the marriage or before marriage. So that's where I'm at now. I actually have true peace, and that peace comes from God. The source and the source of my strength comes from God, not him, not what he does on YouTube, Instagram, or whatever. It doesn't come from that. It comes from God. And with that, I am living in victory. I am walking in victory. I am healed. I am whole. And I know who I am. And so you guys will definitely be seeing more of me as we continue on in this journey.
Well, let me ask you a question, and I want you to, of course, continue being honest as you've already been. Where are you at now in terms of that, in terms of the hurt, in terms of the pain, the healing, since I came forward with everything? Where does that put you right now? Like, why haven't you just left? You know, with everything that I did and what you saw and how bad it was, why didn't you leave, and where are you at right now?
Well, again, I say, well, I did leave because I was like, listen, the next time you cheat on me is going to be the last. And when I found out about it, I left. Again, I packed up everything that I could fit in my car and I left. And I didn't turn back. I didn't hesitate. When you came, I sent you back home by yourself. And I told you, listen, do what you need to do. I'm going to do what I need to do. So why didn't I leave? Well, I actually did leave. And I stayed gone for almost all of last year.
And filed for divorce.
And I filed for divorce, actually. I did file for divorce. I had the best of the best, whatever, but I filed for divorce. I said, I'm not coming back. I told you before we got married, the next time you do it, I'm going to leave. And that's what I did. I left and I stayed gone. And the only reason I even entertained coming back and then now am back full-fledged is because there was an actual shift in your mentality and how you just dealt with me, you actually eliminating people from your life, cutting off these connections with these people. And that is something that you've never done, you never hinted at. There's even with all the trying again, breaking up, getting back together, all of it, you have never done that, not one time. And then also your pursuit of God and your continued pursuit with or without me, because I was gone, I was out of your life. It was over. So
I remember.
So that's where I'm at right now. I have peace about it. I know that there's an actual sustained change, and that sustained change is not contingent on anything that I said that I wanted that you could do for me or anything. That had to do with you and God and your personal relationship and you changing for him and what he called you to be and what he wanted you to be. And with that, I have the security and the peace that I needed to continue to move forward. Plus, we still have our counsel that we go to, you go to on your own still. It's not something that has stopped just because I came back. And again, we got back in the same space of like being in the same space in October. So this was not overnight process. This was a long haul process where I said, no, I'm not coming back. I left, packed it and left. So
where are you now in terms of like, okay, if somebody was to ask you how the last, I don't know, couple of months of, 1 second, Marley, I'm coming. I'm about to go get her.
okay.
I'll go. Actually, I'll let you answer why I go. But in terms of the last 6 months, or since we've been back in one space, how would you describe the marriage compared to what it was before, compared to the relationship, even before the marriage and all that other? Because we've been off and on, by the way, for 12 years. Well, we were off and on the first, 7 or 8. And then we got back together and later in 2016. Mm-hmm. But the marriage, the new marriage, compared to the old marriage or relationship or however, how would you describe that? I'm gonna go get her.
how I would describe it. So, hey guys, I'm here while he's gonna go check on our daughter. I would describe the new marriage as completely new. The old marriage was built on a lack of boundaries, engagement. There were certain mentalities that he had that I could not stand, but I did in that time try and to accept it, but it just ended up to nothing. So those things have changed. How he thinks about him just having contact with people that he has had sex with, being friends with them still on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, unacceptable, unacceptable. And now he understands why that is an issue. And it's not something that I had to force on him. I just packed up and left. I said, enough is enough. And so with that, in this new marriage, he has completely continued staying to keeping those things eliminated, letting me have access to everything. And again, allowing me to speak for myself. Okay, so I don't need him to speak for me or anything, any of these things. So with all of these things combined together is different. His engagement in just our personal time, our time with our family, all of these things are different. How he speaks, you guys can tell in some of the videos that he's done that he talks different. He carries himself with a different air, and all of these things have translated into the new marriage that never existed before. Boundaries, even now with boundaries with new people that are coming, we meet new people every day. We have boundaries. He has boundaries in place. There's things that he does where he lets me know, hey, such and such, this is a conversation that happened, or hey, I just met such and such, and I think this is an opportunity. These type of conversations never happen in the old marriage. they never happened. He would do his own thing, and I would never know about it, or he would just go and act on whatever, and then I find out about it after the fact. And so all of these things are different.
So, no, I mean, I didn't hear all of what you said. I was getting Marley. But okay, the whole purpose of going live. First off, I mean, whose idea was it to go live?
It was my idea. I said, we're going to have to go live about this, right?
Okay.
Because you guys don't know me. You don't know me. You never see me. You don't know my mannerisms or anything like that. And I needed to be able to speak for myself. Like, I'm left the situation when it was time for me to leave. So,
well, you always been one an introvert.
That's true.
Two, you always had resting, not happy face. So people take that whenever you're listening. It's like, man, she's hurt, she's damaged, she's still wounded. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with that, but what would you say to that piece of it? The floor is yours.
I would say this: by his stripes, I am healed. Okay, I had to do the work. I had to get with God and be honest and say, Lord, I don't deserve this. I've dealt with it for too many years. And the repetitiveness of it, the things that I've seen, guys, you don't understand the things that I've seen, the images that I've seen, the videos that I've seen did a number on me. There was a time where I was broken and I was damaged. And I am not in that place anymore because by his stripes, I am healed. And I released those things to him. He says, cast all your cares, your worries, and anxieties onto him. Okay, and that's what I did. Every aspect, every single detail, every crevice of the person, every video that I seen, every picture, all of it, I gave to God. And if I had not done that, then I would probably still be in the same place. And also, the biggest thing was forgiveness, right? There was a time where I was just holding on to anger, like, listen, if I see her on the street, who's gonna stop me, type of thing. But I was like, you know what? I learned in my journey, I have to forgive. And forgiveness is not for the person, it's for me to be set free, to be able to move forward. And as I learned how to do that over time, I got more and more and more healing. And that type of healing that you need from this type of situation can only come from God. No man, no therapist, no pastor, nobody can heal from this type of pain. Only the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, can heal from this type of thing. And so when I let him in and I gave him the details, every single details, the uncomfortable detail, the rage that I had, the insecurity that I had, and all of that, that's when I got my healing, and that's where I am today. And that's how I have the peace and the healing that I have right now to be able to even speak to you. I mean, a year ago, even, I would even say 8 months ago, I would never get on here and say anything to anybody. I would probably be in the comment sections with y'all. I mean, there was a time where I would I would be in the comment sections with y'all like, So that all comes to healing through God. And so, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's not so much, I don't want to, me personally, there's so much more to this story. So much more from both sides. I've never been a fan of bringing people into, making this a group chat, a group dialogue, group marriage. With all due respect, this marriage, this family is a real life thing. It's not just online. There's 2 kids that want both of their parents in one home. I fess up to what I've done to her in every capacity. She already knows it. I know the things that she's done, but she didn't cause me to do anything. And I want to make that clear. But even as we're talking, we're not explaining ourselves. And that's not an egotistical thing. I really don't even want to set the wrong precedent coming on here and just explaining. But because of how this story has gone, I know God can get so much glory. Because, okay, so in years past, what she's talking about, and correct me when I'm wrong, you know, if you do it again, this was back, like I'm talking about when, before we even got back together in 2016, you were talking about?
Yeah.
2016. So as we were even getting back together as boyfriend and girlfriend that year, you know, she's let me know because the previous stint at a relationship, yes, it ended with, not infidelity, I guess, with cheating. Ended with cheating. So that was, 6 years ago, whenever it was, 6, 7 years ago from now.
Yeah.
Okay. So with that, I made the decision to jump back in because I'm like, well, based on my intelligence now, my age now, how much I love you, this is never going to happen, right? I've done the work going to my dad and cutting that, you know, situation down to where it needed to be and healing that. Mm-hmm. I've gone to, now going to a counselor. And basically all of these natural world things are fixing the situation. But it wasn't until I, not you, but I brought God in. And this was before the blow up. February 4th, 2020. We actually already had an argument, by the way. But February 4th, 2020, me saying, God, I can't do this without you. I can't, I'm clearly not winning. I'm over here, I'm tripping. I'm doing stuff outside of my values. I'm risking everything. And if we want to go to the business, but I'm risking my family. I'm clearly failing at being the man even I say I am and want to be. I can't do it without you. And it wasn't until I came into submission to God, like really saying, well, God, not my way, not my understanding, not my books, theories, videos, none of that. Mm-hmm. Lord, what is your standard of how to do this thing? That I really, from that point, was like set free. I say set free, but it's really set free for myself. Mm-hmm. I know when the Bible talks about dying to yourself and things of that nature. And some people think this is new. I've been now saved a little over a year, but we're not going to go into that. And the reason why I wanted to get on here is because I know there's so much glory to God that can be given by anybody else. Maybe it's not infidelity. Maybe it is just having a sharp tongue. Maybe it is needing to heal. Whatever it is, man, personally experiencing that power and that grace over you before things blow up. Again, there's no, oh, she knows this, she knows that. Before, I think you had some idea of it beforehand, but before I know that she knows anything about anything, that's what I experienced. That finally brought all of this, oh, I want to do this right, I want to do that, into alignment with my actions. Mm-hmm. So it was later on that I came forward, I confessed, because I can't be repentant without being totally honest. But that's why I'm doing it, because it's important that for anybody, now my experience is, for anybody that's trying to turn that page, You smart, you know this, that, and the other. Well, without God, without deliverance, without God, and I'm not saying that I was just strictly being dictated by something else. My decision is my decision, but without God, you're gonna fail. I failed anyway, without God. So that's why I wanted to do. That's why I was like, man, this is a great idea. When you said
Yeah.
let's do the live,
Yeah.
people don't have to agree. I get it. The trolls are here. The bloodthirsties are here. People don't have to agree. There's somebody out there that needed to see me not perfect.
Yeah.
There's somebody that needed to see Derrick not high up this perfect pedestal. And I don't know why I ever got there, but I'll take the blame. Somebody needed to see that. And somebody needed to hear, not just from me, but from you. And they always want to find a way to invalidate you if you're not
Of
saying
course.
what they want you to say. Oh, you blink if you need help. You getting forced to do this.
I am not a slave to anybody, including you.
You just protecting the brand. You just
No.
trying to save face.
Listen, when I left a mansion and everything in it to sleep on a couch, and I didn't look back and care. And when you came, I left. So none of that matters. I'm not going to be a slave to you or anybody.
I know that. Do you come off soft spoken, but they don't know your true strength, and they will know. But
You'll know.
nonetheless, man, us being able to now sit and talk about this like this, because I'm talking about 7-8 months ago, we couldn't even have this much space. You wouldn't even fit us
I
on
wouldn't
the
even
same
allow
screen.
him to touch me. So no.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, God can work some miracles. I'm not sitting here just saying it's all God because in order for God to do anything through you, you have to co-labor. Okay. So it came from a lot of conscious decisions of Derrick to let go of pride that Derrick knows best when it comes to shaping human behavior. Derrick is a teacher. Derrick will get it together. No, Derrick had to let go of pride and now let some accountability partners come in. Without her saying do this and do that, Derrick had to take it upon himself. And then God co-labors with us in order to produce fruit from that. Mm-hmm. So it's not so much about let's make it completely clear, at least from my perspective. We're not trying to prove nothing, convince nothing, explain. It's much more about, okay, this situation is what it is and it's so public. Let's give God glory.
Yeah. All glory, honor, and power belongs to him. So
Because all I'd ever known is, especially even in a marriage, is if things ain't going well, you might as well throw it away.
yeah.
You might as well throw it away, let it go. It's pointless to continue. He gonna be who he is. She gonna be who she is. Y'all
Right.
gonna never, be able to rebound, get somebody new.
Right. But what they're missing from it is that God is the only one who can change a person. That person has to be open to it, but God can change a person. It doesn't matter what it is that they were doing. It's called transforming in the renewing of the mind. Once you accept him and you start to pursue him and you're getting that word in you, there is going to be a change, and that change is going to be sustained by him. Because when we try to do that change on our own, we fail, we go back. I think you experienced some of that in the time. But when you have God and you are pursuing him and he makes that change in you, then it is sustained in him. It's by his strength, his power, his might, and with his renewing and the transformation of the mind for it to be sustained, for you to continue to stay away from those things and for your eyes to be open to why these things were a detriment to you and everybody around you, right? So we have to understand that we are living here in the world, but we are not of the world.
Come on
We
now.
are walking in the flesh, but we do not war after the flesh. So what it used to look like, we don't do anymore. And what we are doing now is giving all glory and honor to God and how he wants it to be done.
Right.
And so that change comes from him. Anybody can be changed if you're open to it, if you accept him as your Lord and Savior, and as you continue your pursuit in him, you will be changed. There is called transformation, okay? And that is where we're at now. There's been a transformation. There's been a renewing of the mind. There's been scales taken off the eyes to understand why these different things became an issue, why boundaries are important, why these open doors continue to stay open until there was a decision made. And so that's where we are.
Okay. Well, I think that is plenty. I know Marley probably hungry right now.
Yeah.
But all right, yeah, we didn't want to come and just do a Q&A or anything like that. I know somebody said, you don't have to explain to these people. I totally understand that. Good, bad, or ugly, I don't have anybody to explain to. It's not about proving anything. This is an opportunity, first off, for her to minister based on what she's gone through, because I think a lot of women have. And this is my opportunity to, I guess, really kind of reflect God's glory. And call it what you will. Leave God out of it. No, I'm not leaving God out of.
Without him, we would
Like,
not be here.
straight
Without
up.
him, I would still be where I was at.
Straight up.
And he would be doing whatever he was doing. So,
And let me be clear. It's not even about, infidelity. Infidelity didn't run my life. Man, I'm sitting there getting high. I'm getting drunk. I'm still suffering from anxiety and depression. I'm good at mindfulness techniques, meditation, and the whole nine. Anything that somebody could tell you. There was so much internal torment. Not just Derrick's out here being a bad guy. Never abused her. Don't be cussing at her or nothing like that. But Derrick was so internally deficient. So internally deficient. And all of that was restored in terms of what needed to be there in place of that deficiency by God. Now, why is it now I'm on God? Now I'm on God. If you look at my Twitter, you'll see me talking about this since the day I got saved. If you look at Heal Together Without Hurting Each Other book, you'll see that I wrote the entire book starting in our new marriage based on what we were doing, based on what was working and bearing fruit. And it's a biblically based roadmap to how we were getting what God was doing in our lives, how we were getting really to this point. In terms of a husband meeting your needs, think beyond me. Whatever your needs are of a husband, where am I at in relation to that now? You can be totally brutally honest too. I'm still whatever.
So you are meeting them now. You were not meeting them before. So it's in certain areas, it's still a process, right? Because we're still going through a process. This is something that is not overnight, something that we have to work and build through. Some things that I needed, you were never able to execute on. We were starting from zero. And so there is growth happening there, and I am satisfied. I am full, and before I was empty. And so I would say that you are adequately at this point meeting my needs in every capacity, security being one of the biggest ones. I need security to be in here. Being someone who follows and knows Christ for yourself. Without me, without my interjection in that was a big one. I did not want to be with anybody who, or you included, if you did not have a relationship with God. I was not going to come back unless you had a relationship with God and you were continuing your pursuit without me. If I decided I was still not going to come, that would be something. So if I was wherever I went. So those are some things. And so right now I'm full, I'm whole. And I'm good where I'm at right now. I think of course, it's still a working process.
Yeah.
In areas, it's not finished and finite, but we are in the process. We understand things that were a hindrance before, and we have the guidance that we need from the spiritual aspect and the natural world aspect as well to continue on with the healing.
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. Well, it's a work in progress. And I don't think anybody's just finished. I think even once you think you've finished, by that time you probably have grown into a different version of yourself.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
we'll continue this another time. If you guys got something out of this, please let us know. This is with everything included, flaws, scars, and all. I think you guys probably know like 2% of the whole thing. And maybe we're always going to have a level of discretion about how we bring people in, because it's not good to bring people in on every good, bad, and ugly. It's three-stranded cord for a reason. You, your partner, and God for a reason. Right. Everybody, just like you have some commenters and they want to be able to give their thoughts and opinions, and you don't bring everybody into every detail. But I think if this is something that can give God glory, that can aid in the restoration of other relationships that have potential to be brought back to people that are really open to doing things God's way.
Right.
maybe this is something that we can do again in the future.
Yeah,
Would you be open to it?
Yeah, definitely. And you definitely will be seeing more of me. I'm sure I'll jump on some more lives and all these things. And again, like you said, everybody is not going to accept what we're saying. They're going to say all these things, but let those who have an ear, let them hear. And let the healing that comes from our situation be a testament of how God can resurrect something from the dead in real life. He can resurrect a marriage from the dead. He can resurrect a person from the dead. So let that be a testament to that. So
Word.
I just end with this. Let those who have an ear, let them hear. And for those who don't, we'll continue to pray for you. We release the blessings of the Lord upon your lives. And that's it.
All right, then. Y'all be good. I'll let y'all later.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.
Let's see your name now.
Team Jackson, what's going on? Leave your comments and tell me what you think about it. Usual, I'll be bringing you updates on what's happening and news around the world and all the latest gist and gossip. If you like what you see, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned. You came for gossip, but I'm coming to you. It's your spiritual war with my helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness. Watch out.